Digital Construction Planner is a practical and user-friendly tool designed to assist builders, site workers, and homeowners in managing construction projects more efficiently. It provides fast, reliable estimates for materials, labor, and scheduling needs, making it easier to plan accurately, stay on track, and control costs. Now I will type choice number 1. The program features several useful calculators: a project scheduler to organize timelines, a hollow block calculator for estimating block requirements, a concrete volume calculator for walls and columns, a paint calculator, a foundation calculator, and a labor estimator to calculate manpower and wages. So, together, these tools streamline construction planning into one accessible solution. Now I will choose option number 2. After selecting option 2, the program welcomed me with the title Project Scheduler Program centered on the screen. Below the title was a short introduction that explained the purpose of the program, which is to assist the construction planning by creating a chart based on tasks and their durations. It mentioned that the program would ask for scheduling information like task names and how long each task would take. Then I was asked for my consent to proceed since the program might collect sensitive project information. The prompt asks, "Do you consent?" and I will type yes. The program thanked me and proceeded with the scheduling process. Now, it asked me how many tasks I needed to include in the project. I will enter 3. For each task, the program asks for specific details. So for the first task, I will type site clearing, and then I will set the starting date to day 1. And then it would take 5 days. And then its priority is high. For the second task, I will name it foundation work. And then the starting day is day 6. And then for the number of days it would take 10 days. And then high again for its level of priority. And for the third and final task, I will type framing. Then I will enter day 17 as the start day. And then it would take 7 days. And then its priority would be medium. So, once all tasks were entered, the program printed a formatted table. It showed each task in a row with 4 columns: the task name, the start day, duration in days, and priority level. So, the layout was laid neatly, making it easy for me to read and comprehend each task. After the table, the program thanked me for using the project scheduler program and asked me if I'd like to try a different tool. The process was simple, clear, and helpful for organizing my project schedule. And that is all for project scheduler program.
Now we will proceed if the user will choose number 3. It will present the hollow block calculator, and this program was created to help in the planning and estimation process for construction projects, especially when building walls. The main purpose of this calculator is to estimate how many hollow blocks are needed to build a wall based on the dimensions that the user provides. Instead of doing the math manually or guessing how many blocks are required, this program gives you an accurate answer instantly. So the program will begin by asking the user to input two sets of measurements: the wall's length and height and the block's length and height. So for the Wall length in meters, I will input 3. For its height, it's gonna be 4. And for the block length, I'm gonna input 0.25, and for the block height will be 0.15. And the logic behind the calculation is that it will calculate the total area of the wall, it will calculate the area of a single hollow block, and then it will divide the wall area by the block area to determine how many blocks are needed. And then it will display the result. After the calculation, the program displays the total number of hollow blocks required to build the wall. This estimate helps with budgeting, ordering materials, and reducing waste in the construction site.
Moving on to the fourth choice, this calculator can calculate the volume of concrete and estimate the required materials for three major structural elements, which are slabs, columns, and beams. The program estimates the materials based on a standard class A mix ratio of 1:2:4. Before proceeding with the calculations, the program allows user to choose among four options, whether they want to calculate the concrete volume of a slab, column, or beam, and the fourth option redirects the user to the main menu. Moving on, let us proceed to the condition if the user has chosen option 1, which is slab. After choosing the program asks the user to input the length, width, and thickness of the slab. For example, let us input 4 for length, 5 for width, and 0.15 for the thickness. The program then multiplies these values to get the volume in cubic meters. It also estimates how many 40 kilogram cement bags, how much sand, and how much gravel will be needed. The program will provide the user with a list of the calculated concrete volume as well as the estimated materials along with a table format. Now, if the user has chosen option 2, which is column, the program will ask for the length, width, height, and the number of columns. As an example, let us input 0.3 for length, 0.3 as well for width, 3 for height, and 4 for the number of columns. The program will then proceed to calculate the total volume for all columns combined and estimate the required materials using the same standard mix. Similar to the first option, the program will list the calculated values along with a table format for the estimated materials. And lastly, option 3 is for the concrete volume of a beam. The program will ask the user for the width, height, length, and number of beams. For instance, let us input 0.25 for width, 0.4 for height, 5 for length, and 3 for the number of beams. Again, the total concrete volume and estimated materials will be calculated based on those inputs. The program will also list the calculated values along with the table format for the estimated materials. And that is all for the concrete volume calculator. It will end by displaying "Thank you for using concrete volume calculator. Would you like to try a different tool?" And it will also display for each sub-choice. Due to long duration of running of the program, we will have to rerun the program again in order to continue.
So let's now move on to paint calculator. The purpose of this tool is to help estimate how much paint is needed to cover the walls of a room. This is very useful for planning materials in building construction or renovation. So how does this paint calculator works? When the user chooses option 5 from our calculator menu, the program starts by displaying the title Paint Calculator. Then it asks the user to input the length, width, and height of the room in meters. Let's say that the user input 5 for the length in meters, and then 4 for the room width, and then 3 for the height. These are important because we need them to calculate the total wall area. The formula we use is wall area equals 2 times height times length plus width. This formula covers all four walls of a rectangular room. Next, the program asks if the room has any doors or windows because this opening should not be painted and must be subtracted from the wall area. If the user says yes, the program asks how many doors and how many windows there are. Let's say that we have one door and two windows. For simplicity, we assume that one door is about 2 square meter and one window is about 1.5 square meter. So the total area of doors and window is subtracted from the wall area. After that, we assume that 1 liter of paint covers 10 square meter. We divide the total paintable wall area by 10 to get the estimated liters of paint needed. Then the results are displayed, the total wall area to be painted, and the estimated liters of paint required. And this ends with a thank you for using paint calculator. Would you like to try a different tool?